Good evening. So, I guess now you all know my name is Juan, but what you may not know is where I was born, right? Uh, well, I can tell you that I was not born in the United States, and sadly, I was not born in Holland. Well, can you tell from my accent where I was born, Pastor Joe? I'm wondering if you can tell from my southern accent where I'm from. No, you have to go deeper than that. Yeah, it's deeper than Mississippi or deeper than Florida. In fact, it is so deep, it's in South America. Now, I have a book here. It's written by a good friend, a colleague, a believer, Dr. David Levy. He is a neurosurgeon who was here at Orange Regional about 2 years ago and spoke about the incredible impact incorporating prayer in his practice as a neurosurgeon, what it has had on him, on his patients, on other colleagues. So I have this book for whoever could guess where I was born. Well, if you said Bolivia, I believe you. Really. Well, when I was 13 years old, I was born again. And really, so that makes me only 42 years old. I keep telling my wife that I'm not that old, you know. So, since my teenage years, I have had the incredible, as you know, the amazing blessing of being a child of God. Our Father has consistently shown me his steadfast love. And of course, the major way is in the way he provided for me a Redeemer in the life of his own Son, Jesus Christ, who died for me. So I can go on and on about other ways in which I've seen God's love demonstrated for me. But living a life following Christ has not always been difficult. I mean, easy. It's been a little bit challenging. I'm sure you've experienced that. Being a father, a husband, is challenging. I've recently, this past week, had the pleasure, not really, but I've dropped my youngest son in Washington University, and now we have an empty nest, and I pray that my wife and I have had an influence on my son's life so that he can continue to grow a meaningful and strong Christian life so that he can impact others. But the other challenge that I've had recently is that of incorporating my faith in the workplace. I said doctor, but Pastor Sutter mentioned to you that I'm a physician. I am. My specialty is nephrology. I specialize in kidney diseases. So if you have kidneys, please keep them healthy. All right? I don't want your business. But it's been a challenge to be a Christian and in a workplace. And more recently, I've been encouraged by the likes of Dr. Levy and by the likes of Dr. Imbarado, whom many of you know. And that challenge is to demonstrate to others, or at least be courageous enough to demonstrate to others what Christ has done in our lives and what he can do for them in their own lives. So I've actually been able to incorporate prayer in my practice as well. And each time I've done that, it has been an incredible, incredible experience for the patients, but also for me. I don't know if you've been a patient or not, but my sense is at some point you might have been. I don't know if you've ever had an opportunity to have your doctor pray for you. Okay, I'm told that every time I do it, and if it's a new patient, they tell me, I've never had a doctor pray with me. And I consider that an incredible opportunity and an incredible blessing to be able to do that. Well, Myself and others, like I mentioned, Dr. Embarado, nurses in the area, we've come together and we have, I guess we're responding to God's prompting to use us with the gifts and talents that we have. I met today a young new nurse who I know why she went into nursing. I know that she has a special place in our heart to care and to serve others. And you know, we have an incredible opportunity as people in the medical community to be able to reach others in which others cannot. You know, if you came to my office, I guarantee you, you would probably tell me a lot of things you've never told anybody else. And of course, we keep that in confidence, and we use that information to be able to help you. So, but we have this opportunity where people come to our office and they share with us, and we have an opportunity to do something with that. We use it to help the patient, but sometimes, and we're not taught this in medical school, at least in the past, when I was in training, we were not taught to delve into the spiritual part of an individual. And that's what I'm learning more and more now, that the spiritual aspect of an individual is very important, and it really has an impact on health. I can tell you more about that later. But so many of us locally who are believers, we've come together, we've formed a nonprofit organization, and we call it the Christ Healthcare Ministry, and God has allowed us to provide free medical health care to people who have no insurance, who have no ability to pay for it, people who cannot afford their medications and often would go without it. So we provide that for them. So this has been a blessing, and I'm grateful to this church that you've all been prompted by the Spirit, and you're willing to collaborate with us. And today we would have had the health mobile, but there are some mechanical problems with it, so we couldn't have it here to show it to you. But you know what? That's not as important. The important is that what's happening here, what Pastor Joe is doing, is important. I wanted to tell you, thank you for praying for one individual, Dr. Kent Brantley, if you know who he is. He is a survivor of the Ebola virus. As you know, it was contracted in Liberia. The one thing he and I have in common, besides being physicians, is that we both belong to the same organization, the Christian Medical and Dental Associations. We have formed a local branch here. It's called the CMDA, Christian Medical and Dental Association, Hudson Valley. So if you are medically inclined, by all means, look to join it so we can have fellowship. We have the other opportunity to provide, to be used by God in showing His love to our neighbors. And anyway, I wanted to share that with you, and it's my way of sharing with you what God has done in my life, what He continues to do, what He's doing in others like me, and we are grateful to you, and thank you for the opportunity.